Hello everyone. Bree Seeley here, back again with day 5, just getting everything all set up. So, funny story, did this training live about an hour ago and went to upload the recording of it and realized that I didn't hit record. It was like the most amazingly epic training. There were hundreds and hundreds of comments. Everyone was super engaged and active and asking great questions. And I didn't hit record, which is so appropriate when you learn what today's theme is. So this is take 2 on today's training. Attempt 2. I'm officially recording. Microphone's on. Everything's good. Happy you're here. So let's get started. The same way that I started the other training live, just for you here right now. So one thing that I pointed out in the training this morning was that I've noticed that the engagement, the interaction, the watchings, the live trainings, all of this has started to get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. This is something that happens. So before we get super into today, I want to take a moment for you to just celebrate the fact that you're here watching this right now and really congratulate yourself for showing up for 5 days of this training. Because as we've talked about, our brains get in the way and start distracting us. Oh, you don't want to go on that training. Look, something shiny's over here. Like I talked about yesterday. Oh, you don't want to go on that training. Oh my God, you have so much laundry and so many dishes to do. Life gets in the way and our brains talk us out of showing up for ourselves. So the amount of participation that's dropped over the last 5 days, it's dropped by about 2/3, which is crazy. But one thing that's really important to notice is that you're here watching this right now. You're on this call, you're on this training, showing up for yourself right now for the 5th day in a row. So I want you to take a second and pat yourself on the back. I know it might not seem like a lot, but your presence here right now today is a big deal. It says a lot about you and your commitment to being a creator in this process. So today, we're going to get a little bit further into this work. We're going to get a little deeper into the physical world, and we're going to bring even more of the emotional, energetic world with us. So one of the coolest concepts I teach is this idea of living an unconditional life. So what does that mean? What does it mean to live an unconditional life? It means that nothing in your physical world needs to change in order for you to experience the feelings that you want to experience. Now, most people, when they're doing this work, want to go out into the physical world and remove the bad conditions from their life, and then they'll feel happy and free and content and all the feelings that you felt on day 2 with your visualization, right? So their motto is, I need to live from the outside in. When the outside world is perfect, then I will feel the feelings. And until then, I cannot feel the feelings. I'm here today to tell you that you don't need to change anything in your physical world in order to feel the feelings of your dream and your vision every day. In fact, the shortest and most permanent path to your dreams is in changing yourself. This is living unconditionally. This is living from the inside out. So what happens when people just want to go out and change their conditions is that they end up just creating new conditions because their radio tower is set to create waves in response to their conditions, rather than consciously and purposefully cultivating their feelings to put out the waves they desire in order to shift their outer environment. So people end up, when they're doing this, when they're living conditionally, when they're living from the outside in, they end up just manifesting more conditions because that's what they're tuned to. People get really addicted to reacting to their conditions rather than becoming addicted to dwelling in their intent, dwelling in their beingness, dwelling in the feelings of how they choose to feel every day, and allowing that to then transform the world around them. So most people hate hearing this. They hate it. I'm here to tell you today, you can 100% experience fulfillment in a job that you hate. You can feel at home in a place that's not necessarily your home. My intention for my 35th year of life this year is to come home to myself. Your physical world will always change. Always. You can feel, you can experience, you can find the happiness, the joy, the satisfaction, all of those feelings that you want to experience. You can find them right now exactly where you are, with nothing changing in your physical world. Because all those feelings that you want to feel or that are present for you within this vision don't exist in the future. Have you ever noticed you can't feel in the future? Your feelings only exist right now, exactly where you are here in the present. So a lot of people like to think that there's this equation. When I have X, I will then feel Y. We think that having our dreams equals satisfaction, happiness, joy, freedom, abundance, etc. And that not having our dreams equals dissatisfaction, unhappiness, sorrow, lack, etc. Like I said, our feelings don't exist anywhere but in the present. Your dream is not the answer to your problems. You are the answer. Right now is the answer. So one of the examples I gave is that I'm currently in transition. I've been in transition since April. I left my home, my dream home in Los Angeles in April to move back to a place that I said I would never fucking live again, ever. Ever. And by the time I leave, I will have been here for 11 months. That is more time than I've spent here in the last 15 years combined. So how am I feeling at home when I'm not at home? This place that I'm living right now, it's not my dream. It's not my destination. It's not that vision. I sat with myself this morning and I did a future perfect day hypnosis. This is not where I saw myself. So I could wait to feel at home. I could wait to feel the joy, the satisfaction, the passion, the fulfillment until I get somewhere else. But the other thing that is really important to note is that you cannot have a pleasing outcome to an unpleasant journey. So if I were here right now hating every minute of where I am, resisting making this place my home, hating, well, I do hate the weather, but that's totally besides the point. I've come to peace with it. I can't reach a place of satisfaction from being dissatisfied every single day. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. So my work here is to be at home and to be satisfied and to be at peace and to be in joy exactly where I am right now, knowing that this is only temporary. As I said the other day, this too shall pass. And when I get to where I want to go, this too shall pass as well, right? So today's homework is we're going to play adult dress up. This is one of my favorite things in the world to do, playing adult dress up. So what this looks like is feeling the feelings of our vision exactly where we are right now today. We're going to bring pleasure into our journey exactly where we are today. So imagine back to when you're a little kid and you're legit playing dress up as a little kid. So envision back to being a little kid playing dress up. You say you want to be a princess or a doctor or a construction worker. What do you do to be in that vision? If you're a princess, do you have to get on an airplane as a little 3-year-old and fly to a castle in order to be a princess? No. If you want to be a doctor when you're 3 years old, does it mean that you have to go to medical school and go to, have your mom take you to a doctor's office in order to be a doctor? No. If you want to be a construction worker when you're 4 years old, do you have to go to a construction zone to be a construction worker? No. You don't change anything about your physical world. If you want to be a princess, you put on a dress and a crown, and you're a fucking princess. You want to be a doctor, you throw a stethoscope around your neck, and voila, you're a doctor. You are feeling and acting and living as if you are a doctor. You want to be a construction worker, you slap on that tool belt, you get out your hammer, and you go around and you start hammering things. Boom, you're a construction worker. You don't have to change the environment in which you are in to experience the thoughts, the feelings, the beliefs, the sensations that you'll experience when you're in your dream. In fact, I believe that by not experiencing them right now, you're actually blocking and resisting your dream from manifesting itself. I have a podcast out called Love is Not Attracted to Hate. If you hate where you are right now, you hate everything about your world, every single day you're just in the energy of like, I hate this and I hate that and I hate my job and I hate where I live and I hate this and I hate that. Love cannot be attracted to that. It cannot be attracted to that. The things that you deeply desire cannot be drawn in if you are in the energy of hate every single day. And now, of course, these are like extreme examples, right? These are like the opposite, fully opposite ends of the spectrum. But if you're in dissatisfaction, you can't attract satisfaction, right? Just like we talked about, if you're being that radio tower and every single day the things that you're emitting are, I hate this, I hate that, I hate this, I hate that, I'm dissatisfied, I'm da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, the antenna of the universe is picking that up. Guess what it's giving you? More things to hate. So, funnest story for you. Really, really big name successful people do this all the time. And I think a lot of them have done it without even knowing what they're doing. I heard a story, Taylor Swift apparently was interviewed on something once, that when she was little, sitting in her room in Nashville, practicing her guitar to her cats, she wasn't feeling as if she was in her room in Nashville playing to her cats. She would feel what it felt like to be in front of a crowd of thousands and thousands and thousands of people, all of them singing her lyrics back to her while she was in her room practicing. She didn't need to go have that experience in order to feel those feelings. She felt them where she was, and I can almost guarantee you that the reason she is where she is right now is because she felt those feelings in the present moment. Same thing with Michael Phelps. His coach has written about this. Michael Phelps never jumped in the pool when he was 12. He didn't jump in the pool as a 12-year-old to practice. He jumped in the pool as an Olympic gold medal winner. And he would practice every single day in that pool as an Olympic gold medal winner. He wasn't worried about being 12 years old or being, exactly where he was or the situations or circumstances or whatever. He was dwelling in life as a gold medal winner. And I can almost guarantee you, when those are the waves that he's putting out, of course that's what the universe sent him back. When Taylor Swift is putting out the waves of singing in front of tens of hundreds of thousands of people and them singing the lyrics back to her, of course that's what she received back. Today is an exercise to get you out of the energy of lack, out of the excuse of, well, I'll feel it tomorrow. No more waiting. What you desire is present right here, right now. And the more you realize that, live that, and experience that, your outer world will meet you there. It will transform very, very quickly. So today we're going from, I don't have I want, in the future I'll experience, into an experience of I have, I am, I do, I experience. We're taking all that stuff from the future and we're bringing it into the present moment without changing our physical environment. We are putting on the energetic princess dress and stethoscope and construction tool belt today. The more that you can be there now and feel the feelings now, the easier and quicker this entire process is going to be for you. So I talked earlier, if we're emitting those radio waves of dissatisfaction every day, imagine the radio waves you emit hating your job. And imagine what the universe is picking up on. Now imagine being in satisfaction exactly where you are right now today. Imagine the radio waves that is creating. And imagine what the universe is going to pick up on there. Instead of, not being at home in your current surroundings, imagine what radio waves are those sending off versus being at home exactly where you are in this moment right now. So imagine the difference between sending out those radio waves of satisfaction versus those radio waves of dissatisfaction. When we can look upon exactly where we are right now and realize that our feelings can be what we want them to be right now, that's when transformation happens. So I want to give you some examples. If you have a dream, a desire to live abroad, today, when you make dinner, envision yourself in a flat in Nice and feel what it feels like to be opening that bottle of red wine in Nice. Remember, your brain only knows what you tell it. So sink into the feelings of being in that experience. You don't need to tell the second half of the story. Be in the experience of having that for yourself. If you're going out to get coffee today, envision yourself as walking into a cafe in Firenze, ordering a double macchiato with the, baristas and like really sink into that experience. What would it feel like if you were to order your coffee today as if you were in Italy versus wherever you are? If you want to be a digital nomad, today as you work, envision yourself in a workspace in Bali or Iceland and feel what it feels like to be a virtual nomad, digital nomad right now today. If you want to have a job that's fulfilling, find one aspect of the job that lights you up today and dwell in those feelings of fulfillment. If your future self is a badass who goes into an office space or a job or, whatever every single day and you currently work at home, go change out of your sweatpants right now. Change into what you'd wear into work and feel like she feels today. If you're an entrepreneur in the future and you have a day job right now, envision your job today as a client who has hired you to come into their organization to pay you loads of money to consult for them, and feel what it feels like to receive wealth from that place today. If your future self has manicures and pedicures, either go get one or give yourself one and feel what it feels like to be that now. Now, I know people are like, well, Brie, if I do my nails myself, it's not the same. It's just not the same. In your mind, you do not need to tell the second half of the story. My future self has manicures and pedicures all the time, period. I now have a manicure all the time, period. My future self feels put together when she has a manicure pedicure. Now that I have a manicure pedicure right now, I get to feel put together too. Doesn't matter where it came from. Doesn't matter. Your mind doesn't know the difference other than the story you tell it. So remember, the world around you does not need to change for you to be in the energy of your dreams. When you can do this, you're not all of a sudden then switching from, You're vibing, I'm vibing once and then back in the shit. And then I'm vibing and then I'm back in the shit. And then I'm vibing and then I'm back in the shit. This becomes a consistent, conscious, just flow out of you of these waves. You don't have contradicting waves that you're sending out. When you're able to feel the feelings in the moment now, your waves of energy that are emitting from you, the feelings are emitting from you are consistent. So Ellen mentioned this on the first day that we did the visualization. When her alarm would go off to help her visualize, she felt so far away from her dreams. And then she'd have to shift gears to be back in her dreams. And then she'd, drift away again and then shift gears and be back in her dreams again. When you can get to this place where you are feeling those feelings, it's not shifting gears. It's a continuous flow, a continuous stream. One of the women that was on the training originally that I forgot to record said that she takes Ubers everywhere. And every day when she's in an Uber, she feels like her CEO self. I shared that last night when I went to yoga, I was in the Uber and I closed my eyes. I had my eyes closed the entire time. And I was sinking into the feelings of envisioning myself in an Uber in New York City on my way to yoga. And envisioning that we were traveling down the street that goes along, 6th, that goes along Central Park. And driving down that street and just envisioning in my mind's eye, the Empire State Building is right there. If I were to open my eyes out of the front window, the Empire State Building would be right there. And dwelling and sinking into those feelings. Your physical world does not have to change. I also shared too that this is a really difficult one for most people around money. And I shared that when I had 25 cents in my bank account, that happened 4 years ago. I was on the Today Show. I had 25 cents in my bank account that day. It was a hard day. Because so much of me was I'm on the Today Show. I'm having international press. My article has been translated into 4 different languages on 6 different continents. And yet I'm having this experience of having 25 cents in my bank account. I was living very conditionally that day. And I chose to continue living conditionally around my wealth for a long time. I chose to live from the outside in terms of my wealth. Now, most people think the solution is to just make more money. When you make more money, that's the fix. I can tell you, 2 years after that, I welcomed in $100,000 in 90 days. It was my first time hitting 6 figures in my business. And guess what? The feelings that I felt when I had a quarter were no different than the feelings that I felt when I had $100,000. That is what living from the outside in does. Your feelings don't change. You get to change your feelings, and then the world gets to respond to that. Because if you're continuing to be in that, I don't have enough, I don't have enough, I don't have enough, I don't have enough, no amount of anything out in the physical world is going to make you feel like you have enough. Feeling like you have enough exactly where you are right now will, however, change the results that you get in the physical world. Because what happens is, even if you get $100,000 in your bank account tomorrow, you're going to still be energetically dwelling, putting out those waves of not enoughness. And when you're putting out those waves of not enoughness, the universe is going to pick up on that. Say oh, right, she doesn't have enough. Did you know that almost every single lottery winner ends up declaring bankruptcy? Fascinating, right? They get all of this money in the physical world, yet they don't change who they are. And because they don't change who they are, they don't change the beliefs, the feelings, the thoughts they're having, The universe helps them manifest that. It doesn't matter how much money you have. If you believe there is a lack of money in the world, you will always create a lack of money in the world. If you believe that you have abundance and sufficiency, there's a really great book I read this year that talked all about sufficiency. I have enough money all the time right now. All the time. Is it how much I'd always prefer? Not always. But I have enough. I always have enough. And more is always available to me all the time. All the time. And that's not the only time that I've been at that point. This year, 2018, there was a month where I had $4 in my bank account. The world doesn't work living from the outside in. That will never change anything. And if it does, it will only ever be temporary. Unconditional living is living from the inside out. When you can live from the inside out, when you can stop letting all those conditions define you, that's where change happens. That's where magic and miracles happen. One of the women in the call asked about, oh goodness, I forget the exact question. Not recording this today was like, so this was my lesson in unconditional living. I was like, okay, so this condition happened. I didn't hit record. I have to sit here now in my apartment alone and re-record it. And I can choose to feel shitty about that. I can choose to berate myself and, yell at myself for doing it poorly. I can choose to let that condition make me feel like shit. Or I can open up my video and trust that there's a reason it didn't record today and feel the energy of all the creators around me and re-record it. And that's what I'm doing. This is unconditional living. I didn't let this condition fuck with my vibe. I still get to be the brilliant leader that I am today. I still get to be incredibly competent in everything I do today because that's who I am. Me not recording the call doesn't mean anything about me. It was a mistake. It was a slip up, and I'm not going to feel bad about it. It happened. One of my mentors and colleagues, Hal Elrod, talks about the 5-minute rule. When something shitty happens, when a condition happens to you from the outside in, you get to be upset about it for 5 minutes. Give yourself 5 minutes to truly be upset about it. There were a few swear words when I realized that I had not recorded this training. I was upset about it. Then you ask yourself, is there anything I can do about this? Yes? Awesome. I can re-record it. Great. I'm going to go do that. No, there's not anything I can do about it? Okay. Then it's a waste of time and energy for me to be upset about it. If you continue to let your conditions define you, you will always be on that roller coaster of emotions. Always. Because here's the thing. There's always going to be conditions. There are always going to be hiccups. There are always going to be things. Always. Your water heater's going to explode. Yesterday I was doing the laundry and the sink plugged and it overflowed. You'll get a flat tire. Your tooth will crack. I mean, there's always going to be something. Something. Always. Conditions will always happen. Even when you get to that point in your dreams where you see yourself, shit will still happen. You get to choose how you respond to that. You get to choose who you're being in response to that. I know what the question was. She said, how do we navigate our current conditions and being our future self? My response was exactly what I just said. Your future self is going to face conditions as well. Why not face your current conditions as your future self? Start to live as your future self. Start to respond as your future self. Start to feel as your future self. Start to make decisions that she would make in her life now. What are you waiting for? Tomorrow never arrives. BT dubs. So if you're waiting to respond to life as your future self, you're going to be waiting forever. Forever. Because what happens is when we live conditionally, we think, well, when I get to X, then I'll feel Y. Well, we get to X, but the problem is the destination's moved. So then we seek it out again, and it's moved again. When you get to where you want to be, there's going to be a new thing, a new place for you to go. And you're going to be like chasing this feeling for your entire life. Or you could just feel it today. You could just be your future self today. You could respond to the world and feel the feelings and embody the vision today. Because why the fuck not? Right? So your homework today is, if you were living your dreams and vision today, what would you be doing? And how would you be feeling? And how can you create that for yourself today without changing anything in your environment? Nothing. You don't get to change anything in your environment. Now we still get to take action. You don't get to change anything in your physical environment, and you get to feel the feelings today. You get to feel like your future self today. You get to live as if everything's already here. You get to feel that. You get to be in the satisfaction of it now. Right now. So if you cannot figure out what this looks like or how to come into a place of satisfaction in your current environment, please post in the Facebook group. I am brilliant at this shit. I will help you find a way to be in satisfaction, in joy, in happiness, in wholeness, all of those things exactly where you are right now without changing your physical world. I will help you with that. So if you cannot figure it out on your own, post it in the Facebook community. Also, make sure to go into the Facebook community, share your biggest takeaway from this training, and go in after you've done your homework, after you've lived as if today, and share what it felt like, how it went for you, what it created, all of those good things, okay? Have so much fun with this today. Remember, you cannot have a pleasing outcome to a displeasing journey. Be on the journey today in that pleasure, in that joy, in that satisfaction. Have so much fun with this. It is going to create results more amazing than you could ever imagine. Okay? Thank you for joining me for this training. Thank you for watching the redo, because tomorrow I'm actually going to set the thing so that it auto records. It's going to be amazing. All right. Get over to the Facebook group. Cannot wait to hear from you. Cannot wait to see what this creates in your life. And I will see you tomorrow for day 6. We're going to be wrapping this all up and talking about what comes after this training for you. I will see you then.